Good morning, everybody. Welcome to From the Word Bible Teaching. Today is Wednesday. No, today's Thursday. Thursday, the 7th of December. Okay. Yeah, we had Wednesday yesterday. Okay. So, I want to talk today about why, again, why hasn't something happened, or why hasn't the promise that God gave me happened, or I've done this, and 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 this. We're going to take a look at Abraham and Sarah. In the beginning, it was Abram and Sarai. And at about the age of 75, God promised Abram that he would have a son and that he'd be the father of many nations. And he's like, I'm getting a little bit up there in years and okay. And I was listening to Kent Christmas this morning, and that's where this popped up. It just triggered, some flashbacks for me. What he said was, when God first spoke to Abram, he didn't speak to Sarah also. Now, I've taught, because I was taught, that God's not going to tell the husband something and not the wife, or tell the wife something and not the husband, but this proves me wrong. God spoke to Abram first and told him that he would be the father of many nations, that he would have a son. And time went on, and time went on, and time went on. And time came to where Abram told Sarah that they would have a child that God had promised. And Sarah started laughing. It's like, ha, crazy, and she was asked by the angels, why, or by God, why do you laugh? And who, me, but anyway, the point of all of this is that God made a promise here, and time went on. And Sarah's womb was barren. She wasn't having no babies, and she was well up there in years. And so Sarah decided to help God fulfill his promise and told Abram to go in and sleep with Hagar, and, she would bear a child. I think Sarah had the idea, I'll raise the child as my own, but since I can't have babies, this might be the way to go. So in the natural, this is what they did. And after Ishmael was born, God told them that they would have a son. And Sarah's womb was opened, and she got pregnant, and she bore a son, and they named him Isaac, according to the promise of God, at 90 years old. So the point of this is to tell you that sometimes God will wait to fulfill a promise that he has given you until every possibility in the natural is done, until there's absolutely nothing else in the natural that you can do or that I can do to make that promise happen. Then God will move in and fulfill the promise he gave. Now, sometimes it's nothing more than a timing issue. But God also knows. He knows me. And he knows that when I hear something, it's like I'm going to take off with it. And most times. And it's like, okay, what do I do? 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 When God's saying, just step back and let me do. Sometimes we step out in front of God because we think God needs help. And we think that, we're there to help him. God don't need our help. He knows how to do what he said he would do. And he's fully capable and willing to fulfill his promises to us. But we have to allow him to do what he wants to do. Now, if he tells us to do something, yes, we're going to do it. But we have to stop getting out there in front of him and stop trying to help him do what he said he would do. Let him work everything out. Don't try to rush things. It may be like Abraham and Sarah having a child through another woman because Sarah wasn't patient and allowing God. What is it God has promised you? Okay, so let's take that. And what is it that you've tried to do on your own to fulfill that? Maybe this is God's word to you to say, step back and let me do what I promised I would do. You just be patient and stay in peace. Trust me. God says, trust me, not me, Judy. Trust God. If our trust is in God, then we're not going to get out there and do stuff that he didn't want us to do in the first place. If our trust is in God, we're going to be able to be patient and wait and not be frazzled. We have to trust God. I know in times past, that God has said things to me, and then I've just taken it and went, okay, what can I do? And I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this. And in the end, it ain't right. Go. It ain't right. When I'm patient and I wait on God and trust God, even if I don't know what God's doing in the natural, if I don't see it, if I don't feel it, if I don't hear it, if the five senses can't comprehend it, I have to trust that God's doing what he needs to do to fulfill what he said to me. It's like, okay, Lord. And it really takes the burden off of me. All I have to do is trust. All I have to do is be faithful to what he said and let God do what he needs to do to fulfill what he said he would do. I don't have to do nothing but trust him. So this is a word for us today. Trust God. Don't get out in front of him. Don't try to help him unless he has asked you to help him. Don't do something unless he has told you to do something in the fulfilling of the word to you, the promise to you. Let God be God. He'll do it in his time, his way, and it'll be right, and it'll be good, and he'll sustain you from now until the time that thing is fulfilled. He'll take care of you too. Okay? All right. That's it for today. Don't be like Sarah and get out there in a hurry. But good grief, she's 90 years old. Yeah, but God knows the timing of all things. Yes, he does. All right. So I hope this has encouraged you this morning to be patient. Now, remember, patience means to actively, persistently pursue. That doesn't mean sit back and twiddle your thumbs. That means keep doing what God's told you to do and moving towards that thing he's promised you until he fulfills it. Okay? All right. All right. Well, I'll be back here tomorrow morning for another Morning Nuggets at 7 a.m. Central Time. Remember to like and share these videos. I don't know a lot about the internet and about all that stuff, but I understand that if you like and share, it does something to the algorithms and it gets out to more people. Okay? All right. So thank you again for joining me. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Central Time. Until then, let God be God. Be patient and be blessed in Jesus'